is it, Manatazah? What does it mean when you... Huh? Darth Vader? He might love some people. He might. Who else had their hand up? Who wants to take a guess? What is love to you, Arya? It's what?
Iron Man.
It's Iron Man, okay. Any other guesses?
Fireman cereal.
It's cereal, okay. Benaya?
Fireman.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Caring.
Caring is love. Benaya?
Oh, sharing.
Sharing, okay. Piano?
A feeling or strong or constant effect.
Say it louder, say it louder.
A feeling or a strong constant effect for a person.
Did everybody hear what Piano said?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's also pretty much what Piano said, a person or a thing that one loves. An intense feeling or deep affection. So it goes along with, tenderness, fondness, having warm feelings, which are good feelings. So who can give me an example of somebody in the Bible who would be a good character of love? Jesus? Okay, why?
Because he sacrificed for us.
What did he sacrifice for?
Our lives. No, wait, ourselves. Our sins.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. So Shariah said that Christ is a good example of love because he sacrificed himself for our lives. Does everybody agree? Go ahead. Moses? Okay. And give me an example. How is he a good example?
I mean, not Moses, Noah.
Okay.
Because he listened to the Most High when he told him to build the ark because it was going to be flood. He listened to him.
So listening is love? That's what you're saying? Okay. Very true. But yes. Go ahead, Anaya.
Alicia?
Okay, and also?
One of them.
Speak louder.
Someone had leprosy and I guess Alicia told one of the prophets, and then the prophet told them that the guy that had leprosy to bathe in
Yeah.
Jordan River.
Okay, very, very good. So so Christ was the one I chose. There's many examples throughout the Bible of people who demonstrated true unconditional love. But out of all of them, Christ, he topped them all off. Because we have to listen to the Most High, come down here. He knew what was going to happen to him. And even through all the pain and the suffering that he encountered for us, he could have easily been like, no, I'm done. Come for me. I'm going to do this. This is too much. But he didn't because he loved us enough to go through what he went through. He got tormented, beat, mocked, crucified, nailed to the cross, things of that nature. So he loved us that much to do that. Would any of you guys do that for any of your friends or family?
Yes.
Go ahead, Benaya. You wouldn't?
No, I would.
You would? Okay. So that's a great example of love. So if we also read John 14, chapter 14, verse 15. I'm going to go to that scripture. There. So in John chapter 14, verse 15, this is Christ talking, okay? He says, if ye love me, keep my commandments. So that's what Christ did for the Most High. He kept the commandment of coming down here and being a sacrifice to forgive all of our sins so that we might have eternal life. Okay? You guys, does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Okay, then we're going to hop down to verse 21. And this is still Christ speaking. He says, he that hath my commandments and keep them, it is that loveth me. So whoever has the commandments and they keep them, which does, or we should be rehearsing that every day, that's how we show Christ that we love him, God that we love him through Christ. And he that loveth me shall be loved by my Father. So if we're keeping the commandments, we'll also be loved by the Most High. And I will love him, so Christ will love us, and will manifest myself to him. Okay, you guys have any questions yet? Go ahead, question.
Are you going to teach all of them today?
If I have time. Did you have a question, Maria? No? What? how you guys love, show somebody love. Whether it's your friend, a family, a teacher, maybe even somebody you don't really like that much. Yes. On the back of it, I want you to write an example or a way that you love, that you show somebody love, or that somebody might have shown you love. How would you show you that love? Or would you yourself show love? And these are going to be for you guys to keep and to reflect on, okay? You're done, Mamuela? What did you write? Sharing this love. What did you write, Arya? Let me see your banana. Can I read it to everybody? It says helping my sister. Who else is done that wants to share? Go ahead, Tiani.
Helping someone out.
Helping someone out. Very, very good. Noah, what did you write? How are you going to show love? You wrote that one? What does it say? Speak loud. Okay. By listening. Okay, I like that one. Did you write something about yourself? Alexandria helped you? Ask her to help you read it. What does it say?
My mom, my dad, and me.
Very nice. Oh, that's a good one. Very good. Okay, so everybody's done with love? Yeah. Okay. So you guys can pull out your second fruit now. Go ahead, Renee. You help people who got hurt. Very good. Does anybody remember from Galatians what the second fruit of the Spirit is? Go ahead. Oh my God, good memory, yes, it's joy. So what is joy, Shariah?
Being happy.
Being happy. Mawarla? Being nice. What about you, Naomi? What is joy? Really happy? So, does anybody, you got the definition, Tiano? I thought you did. No, what were you going to say, though?
When everybody's happy and not sad. No sad.
Yes, you don't have to look it up. I have it here, so I'll read it to you. I just figured I thought you had it. So the definition of joy is a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. So just like you guys who said happy, you guys got it right on point. Being, glee, having glee, being blissful, delight, anything that has to do with happy, smiley, cheery, that has to do with joy. Okay? So who knows the story about Job? Nobody? Nobody's read the story about Job? You read it, Arya? Yeah, what was it about? What happened to him? He's dead? Yeah, he's really old. Nobody knows the story of Job? No? Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and go to the book of Job, and I'm going to read you guys a little bit about what happened to him. But Job, when we read his story, we're going to see how through everything that he went through, all his trials and his tribulations, how he was still joyful. He had friends that tried to come and tell him, what did you do? The Most High is cursing you. Why don't you just curse the Most High out? Look at what he's doing to you. And Job never took any of their advice. He was faithful, and he took everything that he went through with joy, okay? So it's going to be Job chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 13. So it says, and there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking. So Job's sons and daughters. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing, the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So this is saying that the Sabaeans, they came, they took his donkeys, they took his ox, and their servants, and they killed all of them.
Oh yeah.
Okay? While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God is fallen from heaven and had burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So the Most High sent fire down, and it burnt up some more servants of his, and it burnt up all his sheep. So now he doesn't have animals that are producing clothes, producing food, plowing the dirt so he can plant seeds and grow his own food. All of his belongings, all of his basic necessities, because we need food, right? We need clothes, right? They're being taken away. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away. Yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So now they took his camels. Still had camels, but now those guys are gone too. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So now his children died. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell upon the ground and worshipped. And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. So how many of you guys would be happy if you had no clothes? No? How many of you guys would be happy if you didn't have any food to eat and you were hungry? Would you be happy if you were starving? No, you need food. How many of you guys would be happy if your brothers and your sisters, all your family got taken away and it was just you guys? Would you guys still find the joy in that? No? Why not? There's no one to take care of you? Right, and that's why Job is a good example of joy, because the scripture just told us that through all this he didn't sin. He worshiped and he prayed to the Most High. There even came a point when Job had soils and blisters all over his body, and even then, he still didn't forsake the Most High. He still stood faithful, and he still found joy in everything that he was going through. From having everything, riches, servants, children, to having nothing. Okay, so on your second piece of fruit, I want you guys to write joy. And then on the back side, you guys can list a few things that you guys are joyful for, are happy for, or make you happy. And while you guys do that, I'm going to drop down to a different chapter in the story of Job, and it's going to tell us everything that the Most High gave back to him for being a good servant, for not losing his faith, and for being joyful even through the hard times that he was going through. Okay? So Job 42:10, and you guys are just listening. It says, and the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. So he took everything away, and then he gave it back, and even more so than what he had.
Even his kids?
Yep. I'm actually going to get to that part right now. It said, so the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. So it's telling us again that he gave more than what he had before. He stripped everything from Job. For he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen. So you guys remember the sheep got burned, the camels were killed, the oxen, the donkeys were stolen, and his servants, they were either burned up or killed as well. And 1,000 she-asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. So he paid them back everything he lost and then some.
And then the next one.
What is it?
Peace.
Peace.
That's what I was gonna say.
Does anybody want to share what makes them joyful or gives them joy? What did you put in?
Joyful because I have mom and dad and food.
Mom and dad have food. What did you write, Claudia?
For having a roof over
For having a roof over your head. Very good. Tiana, what did you put?
For having my family with me and being able to see them every day.
Go ahead, Benai.
I wrote down.
Speak loud. Don't cover your mouth. Speak loud.
I looked at myself. I'm joyful for my family because we need to have food, food,
Very good. Okay, let me know when you guys are ready to move on to our third one, which is peace, okay? Do you guys have questions about Job, about love, about joy? You guys are all understanding it so far? I'm gonna give you guys a pop quiz at the end, so I hope you are. Go ahead,
I
Tiana.
remember what I did that to him was to test him to see if he still gave him a test.
For Job? Yeah, so he was a very righteous man. So Satan went to the Most High and he asked Satan, or Satan asked the Most High, you know, your servant Job, he's very faithful, but that means you've given him all these blessings. So if you take his blessings from him, I bet you he's gonna forsake you and he's not gonna love you anymore. He's not gonna be a good servant. So the Most High gave Satan permission to take away what he had gave Job, to test him. Because you know, the Most High, he controls everything, so Satan has to ask permission. So when we go through bad things, even being young teens and children, it's all to teach us a lesson. And yeah, so it was his test, and he passed his test. He was faithful the whole time. He found joy in it. He loved the Most High through it all. He never took any of the bad advice that his wife and his friends were telling him. His wife.
Why? She died.
I'm not sure. Did she?
She was turned to a pillar of salt for looking back.
She what?
Turned to what?
A pillar of salt.
What's that? What's that?
She like disintegrated.
Oh, gross.
Oh.
What's that?
She
like
turned to
she,
ash.
like she,
Yeah.
like she just
The Most High took her out for being unfaithful.
Then where did he get all the kids from?
Yeah.
He blessed him with
They're
more.
one and one life.
All right. So the third one is peace. So, Claudia, what does peace mean? Kind of the same thing as love. Okay.
I think I memorized it wrong. It says not to be in a place where there's no hard work or it is quiet, but to be in the midst of those
So peace is quiet.
well, not
No,
really.
not really.
Peace is
You gotta speak up, Anaya.
You want to think about it and then you'll raise your hand again. Okay. What are you gonna say, Arya? Speak loud. Do you know what peace is? What is it?
stuff.
Don't throw stuff? Yeah. If you're not throwing stuff, that makes a peaceful place. What, Noah? Speak loud, like you're yelling. What? I can't hear you. What is the answer?
calm.
Calm, okay. Yes, Kiana?
A period of time when there is no war or fighting, or a state in which there is no war or fighting, or an argument to end a war.
Yes. That's a good definition. I have another one. What do you say?
Would it be is if you're staying calm at all times?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Matt.
Not to be is peace is not to be in a place where there's no hard work or where it's quiet. It's to be in the midst of those who are calm and
Mhm. So the definition I have for peace is freedom from disturbance, quiet and tranquility, calm. So kind of like what Kiana was saying about war, avoiding the war, whether it's a physical war, a verbal war, mental, and then same thing along with Benaiah said. Okay? So I'm gonna pick somebody, so I hope your guys' brains are going. So out of the stories you guys have learned from your parents and from kids class and from sitting in class, who is a good example of peace? There's a lot of them, but who's the first person that comes to your mind? Go ahead, Mobile. What's his name? What does it start with? What did he do? Job?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you gonna say something about that? Somebody from the Bible. Anybody, any story you've learned, something you've heard from class, who demonstrated peace? Based off of freedom from disturbance, quiet, tranquility, calm. Go ahead, Tim.
I was thinking of when I forgot his name, but he brought us out of Egypt, but that's not peace. That was
Moses.
yeah, it wasn't peace because they were all whining and stuff. That was the problem.
Yeah, but
It's
We're
not
gonna
that,
get- we're gonna
peace
get to
isn't
those.
necessarily just being calm.
yeah.
It's being able to keep yourself together with, and it's a feeling that you get when you're around people that are doing the same thing.
Tell me the story.
So like Jesus,
Yeah.
Because he came to me. Peace.
Why? Give an example. If you guys think about when he was staying calm when he was getting beat, that's
it's
good.
kind of like Job. It was kind of like Job, but people made fun of him.
Of who?
Jesus, because he drank a lot of wine and he ate a lot of bread. And his eyes were as red as the wine, as red as the wine. And then they made fun of him because he was fat.
So when he was being made fun of, did he curse them out? Tell them like, you heathens, Most High's gonna strike you guys down. What about when he was getting beat and nailed to the cross? Did he curse at them? Did he wish any bad upon them?
No, he asked God to forgive them.
And to forgive them why?
Because they don't know who he is.
They didn't really understand who Christ was and that, who they were. So he's the person again that I chose for peace. Everything he went through, he's a good role model for peace. He didn't have a place to lay his head. He was always working and preaching. Had to leave his family, and he never complained about it. He just went about it, and he dealt with it. He stood away from he wanted to bring peace. He wanted to bring love, the word of the Most High, which is not confusion, which is not war. He wanted to bring that to all of us so that we would have a chance to be safe. Okay? So there's a little scripture I'm going to read for Christ and for peace. And while I read it, you guys on your third fruit, if you haven't wrote peace, write so. And then on the reverse side, just write a few things of what is peaceful to you. What do you envision it as? What did you learn? Peace. I'm going to read a scripture, but you guys are just going to write peace. What does it look like to you? What do you think it is? What have you learned that it is? unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So those are all different names that Christ goes by. Go ahead.
Question. So nobody back then smoked, right?
Smoked?
Yeah. Did that come? Did that was created like this generation or?
I'm sure they smoked, but I don't think there's a lot of parts in the Bible where they talk about smoking. Just so you shouldn't do it because it's a herb and there's other ways to. Are you talking about weed, like marijuana when you say smoke?
Yeah,
Cigarettes,
like how
tobacco?
people do right now. Like
Cigarettes?
Yeah, like that. Like do they just?
No, cigarettes were created later on, not back then in the Bible time.
So they use like those actual tubes.
Gad did it. They spoke about that with the tribe of Gad in the smokes, but and the scriptures also say that nothing new under the sun. So it was there, just a different way.
Yeah,
It wasn't rolled in a
cigarette.
cigarette. It was in a pipe or a different way. But nothing is new here. Everything has been happening forever, which is why we can relate back to the scriptures because it's not new for us either.
Like the
Somehow it's in there.
What, Noah? Get out of your nose. What are you going to say? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Speak loud. Okay, I know. We're not going to pay attention to the answer. We're going to pay attention to the fruits of the Spirit, okay? Okay, everybody take out another fruit. We have only got 20 minutes left, so we're not going to get through all 9 of them today, but we will continue it, okay? So, Shariah, do you remember what the fourth one is? Almost.
Long suffering?
Long suffering, yes. What is that? Yeah, long suffering.
I don't just know how to explain it.
You know how to explain it?
I don't.
You don't? Go ahead, Shariah.
No.
Long suffering could be a sacrifice, depending on how you look at it and what it is. It could be, yes. So long suffering is having or showing patience in spite of trouble. So, like me, for example, with Linnea being taken away, sometimes I get impatient, but then I have to come back and remember I don't control anything, and I'm learning how to have long suffering through her being gone. I'm learning how to have patience through her being gone. And you know, that's a trouble, that's a problem. I mean, nobody wants their family or their child taken away from them ever, you know? So that's what the Most High is trying to show me. Well, one of the main things he's trying to show me with having Linnea gone is I have to be long suffering because I thought I was a patient person in the world, but I'm really not as patient as I thought I was. So, being long suffering, I'm also going to have to demonstrate patience. So that means I have to not complain about things. I have to tolerate things. So, tolerate the runaround and the runaround of nobody telling me anything about her, nobody trying to help me out, people acting like it doesn't matter. And I have to just forbear it. I have to just accept it. I have to find joy in it, like Job did. Because if I'm not happy about it, that means I'm not happy with the Most High. And I'm nothing compared to Him. So that's the least that I can do is learn how to have patience, learn how to forbear it, learn how not to complain about it, and learn how to find the joy in it. Okay. So who demonstrated long suffering in the Bible to you, Tiana? You mentioned his name earlier.
Moses.
And how so?
He delivered us out of Egypt and out of slavery.
And then what happened when he delivered us out of there?
And they're complaining and whining.
Everybody was whining, complaining because they didn't have any food or no anything.
had to deal with us for 40 years. That's a long time. In the wilderness of people murmuring about him, complaining about him, basically cursing him like, how dare you save us out of slavery and bring us out here,
I'd rather
thinking they
work
were
slavery.
better off being beaten and tortured and enslaved and all kinds of horrible things. But Moses did it because he was following what the Most High had ordained him to do. He didn't have to keep approaching Pharaoh. He didn't have to go out there and fight for us. He didn't have to have the faith that he had so that the Most High would open up the waters and let us get across safely. He didn't have to do that. But he did it because he loved the Most High. And he put up with our crap because the Most High he had patience. He had long suffering. Go ahead.
Is suffering have two S's?
Long suffering has one S. It has
Has
two
two
F's. Long, long. Suffering, Suffering. Job was also somebody who had long suffering, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he got everything taken away.
And what did he find in all that? Was he mad about it?
No, he got it.
What about Christ?
He had long suffering because he had to be sacrificed.
He had to go through all that every day of his life knowing, I'm going to sit here with Judas, I'm going to break bread with him, I'm going to drink with him, and he's going to betray me. But I'm still going to do it anyways. I couldn't have done the same thing.
Oh yeah, the guy who turned him in?
Go ahead, Pasha.
Didn't they get burned because the food got burned?
Say that again?
Didn't they get burned because the food?
Are you talking about in the wilderness? Well, they were complaining, saying that they were hungry, and that's when the quail fell. Who else can you think of, you guys, from the Bible that Christ?
Was Noah one of them?
Noah, he demonstrated a lot more faith, maybe long suffering, because I mean, imagine building a boat
But did
for
he
like
also
100
complain?
years.
What about Jacob?
And was Jacob again? Yeah, I don't know.
The one that he.
Listen to Shawshank.
He worked, was it Jacob that worked 7 years for his wife? And then the dad tricked him and gave him a different woman?
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, okay, well, let me work another 7 years. So instead of just getting upset, he worked another 7 years for the wife that he
Oh.
had initially worked for.
Oh yeah.
He didn't go off, he didn't burn up every single camel and cow and was like, nah, I'm out of here, I want my woman. He just said, alright. Because the dad explained, you gotta marry the oldest, not the youngest, so I have to do it like that.
So he was forbearing in that instance. Could have easily been like, screw you, I'm gonna murder you, your household, all your animals, and I'm gonna
Stealing the
take her.
daughter, yeah.
But he didn't do that.
Esther too.
Yes.
Esther, she didn't want to marry that king.
Oh yeah.
But her uncle Mordecai told her that she needed to do it, and the Most High ended up using her to save the nation. So she didn't want to do any of that, but she did it.
So do you guys see out of these little stories that we're going through today, people not wanting to do them, but having enough love and respect for the Most High, they did it, and in the end they were blessed.
Wait, didn't she end up liking
Because she was following what she wanted to do.
So did you guys write long suffering on your fruit? Okay. And on the back, you guys can write either an example from the Bible or something that you guys have seen your parents, you yourselves might have done or might do to show long suffering, to be long suffering. That is an attribute of the Spirit. That is something that we're all going to be tested on, whether it's now that we're little or when we're grown and old like me. So long suffering is having or showing patience in spite of troubles. when you guys are done with long suffering, you guys are gonna gather your 4 fruits that we've gone over and put them in your bag. Okay, there's still 5 more left to do. So you guys are gonna be in charge of keeping all of your fruits together. The ones that we went over and the ones that we didn't go over, okay? You guys wanna study, read over them, add to them. Your parents will be checking in with you. You guys will bring those in next Sunday. So we can finish. So Ariad has long suffering and he wrote, Manatazap hits on me, but I don't be me. Don't punch him, don't smack him. That's a good way.
Should have been the first thing that came to my mind.
What did you write for long suffering, Mama? You have to share, because it's hard for you to share sometimes, right? Like share your bed. I know, he's so anal about people giving us his bed. What did you write, Mariah?
Don't use
Share
my
with
eyes.
us. Okay. What about you, Mimi? Did everybody get their fruits up?
I wrote, I wrote to not kill my brothers, just have long suffering and not listen to me.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. What do you have to say tonight? Yeah, that's going to say something. Nada? Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, so your bags of fruit are not toys, and they're not weapons, and they're not trash, okay? So every one of you guys is responsible for keeping them, studying and going over them, and bringing them back to class next Sunday, okay? Do you guys have any questions about anything we talked about? No? Mama Warla and Maria, do you guys have questions? Did you understand what we talked about? Maybe. I don't know what's on the schedule, but I'm gonna say about this so we can finish it for sure. Okay, so you guys just clean up your stations. Tomorrow I'm gonna go clean